Jake's POV. With that revelation in mind, I pulled myself out of the memory and woke up. Sliding out of the vine bed, I used magic to open the room back up and spotted one of the guards that was posted outside of my room. "Hey," I said to the guard, "can you get me something?" "What?" the guard asked, sounding confused. "I want to try making a rune, and I need some materials." "You have a rune maker's permit?" the Nume said from his perch. His head tilted slightly to the side. No. I didn't know I needed one." "It is illegal to create runes without a permit. It is a dangerous profession," he explained. "Although I do not expect a familiar to know this, let alone actually be able to make one. Even an Asher should know that." "Frick off," I said, rolling my eyes, and closing my room in the smug-sounding jerk's face as hard as I could. Although, really, it was just a slightly louder slurping and cracking sound as the rock wall and vines reformed. Fine. I can probably make some stuff myself, I thought. Sitting on the floor, I summoned my backpack and started looking through it. Inside were a few gold coins, a spare dowel jar, the broken rune-inscribed rock I got from boot camp that I keep forgetting about, over 50 meters of rope, and an emergency medical kit. But not one piece of paper. I guess that's too much to ask, I thought. Of course, even if I did have it, I wouldn't use it for runes. I'd write my mum a letter. Breaking myself out of those thoughts before I started to spiral again, I instead picked up the rock and looked it over. Inside the grooves where the runes had been was a sticky residue, probably the remnants of the clay or whatever it was the rune was originally made using. "Not enough," I muttered. For a second I considered using magic to melt the rock and turn it into clay, but since I didn't know what it was made of or what clay is made of, atomically, I couldn't imagine it working. Rather than risk punching a hole in an atom, I put everything back into my backpack before sending it away, and decided to just go ask the Queen directly for both permission and materials. While I was staying in her castle, I was granted free roam of the place, so long as a guard was with me, and I was allowed to see her as needed, either by her request or mine. We'd met 4 times already since Suma left, and talked about various things. She wanted to know more about my world, and I wanted to know as much about hers as I could. Suma knew quite a bit about her country, but the Queen definitely knew more. I opened the room again, and walked towards the Queen's court to ask for an audience with her. As I did, the guard spoke up again. Back for some more— Wait, where are you going? Get back here! You can't just— Stop! He shouted, getting annoyed, and started flushing behind me as I walked. I smirked. "No, you follow." "Where do you think you're going?" "To ask to see the Queen." "The arrogance! You have taken up too much of Her Majesty's time already." Instead of replying, I ignored him and continued walking. "What are you doing? Are you not going to say anything?" "What would a predator like me have to say to you?" I asked sarcastically. "Predator?" he asked, confused. "That's what you called me, right? Asher?" He laughed. "Is that what your master told you that meant?" "Yes, but I'm sure you'll correct it." I had figured Suma and Selakar, the Nume who put the runes on my weapons and armor, had told me what it meant originally, had given me a watered-down translation. "It means the beast who eats you and enjoys every moment," the annoying guard said with spite, and cruelty dripping from his fat, snobbish beak. "Did I do something to you?" I asked. "You killed Nume and flew away without ever touching the ground," he said, sounding genuinely angry this time. At that point, I stopped walking, and faced him in time to see him landing on a perch a few meters away. "You killed all those court mages." "That wasn't me." "Oh, I heard the lies. But those weren't the first Nume you killed, were they?" he said. I stayed quiet, remembering what happened in the alley that day. "Years ago, you killed a magistrate's son. Tortured him to death." "That's not what happened," I denied. "You used death magic, and the Grand Duke covered it up. Everyone just turned their feathers away because they think you'll be useful in the war, but I know what you really are." "Shut up," I said, angry. "You are a killer. A monster. A Viking. I turned and walked away without another word. He didn't bother following me. After 15 minutes of walking around and trying to calm myself down, I made it to the Queen's Court. There was a Nume in the room, basically the castle's chief gardener, I guess, using magic to fix and rearrange the decorations on the pillars and walls. He came here every day to do it, so I had seen and spoken with him a few times. "Hey," I said. "Ow! Greetings, Sentinel." He bowed and spread his wings. I told him a few times he didn't need to do that, but he insisted. "How can I help you?" "Can I speak with the Queen about getting some materials for making a rune? I'll also probably need permission to make one since I don't have a permit." "I shall inform Her Majesty's attendants immediately." I thanked him, and he flew through one of the holes in the roof. While he was gone, I started thinking about what that guard said, despite the fact I was trying not to. My mind was wandering, so I didn't notice when two Nume, one of which was the gardener, the other was one of the Queen's personal attendants, fly up and land beside me, startling me when I suddenly heard flapping sounds behind my back. "Greetings, Sentinel. Queen Ompera sends her apologies, but she is unable to meet with you today. However, she was made aware of your requests, and has granted the use of materials and permission to craft a rune, under the supervision of myself." The attendant, whose name was Cisco von Sopra, said, "Okay, sounds good to me." The attendant, whose name was Cisco von Sopra, said, "Okay, sounds good to me," I said, and nodded my head. Then I had another thought. Also, could I get a different guard?